So if we have to much protect hub in this case, so hub is the, you can say, heart and soul of your star topology. Any queries so far? Okay, we'll move ahead with the next topology, that is bus. So in bus topology, we have this. You have, now there are different wirings used over here. There are different types of wires and there are taps used. So the hardware that is used is some different hardware as compared to your other topologies, as compared to star and mesh. Here you have one cable which you can see in the bottom line, which is called as cable end, that is the backbone of your bus. So this thick line which you see is the backbone, which is a thicker cable. The diameter and the capacity of that particular cable is higher as compared to the other wires. These have their drop lines, which are molded with a tap, and these drop lines are directly connected to your machines. So I'll have machine station A, B, C, as many as I want to increase. I'll just have to have a lesser capacity wire called as a drop line, and that drop line will be connected to my backbone at the tap, using a tap. This tap is nothing but a silver connectors you might have seen in the pipes or in the networking areas where you have a huge wiring combinations. So you have a T-shaped silver metal which has been blocked over there, and it has been um, mended between the two different pipes. I hope you might have seen. Maybe next time I'll show you the figures. Those T-shaped metal blocks are nothing but called as taps. These taps are used for joining the two wires or more than two wires. So here if you see, you have one wire which is coming from the left end, other is on the right end, and one is coming from the top. So these three are being joined using that particular tap. The data that is going to get flow, if I assuming A wants to send it to the C. So in that case, if A wants to communicate to C, A will drop the message. It will come on the main line, that is the backbone. It will travel over here in this direct. Now when it drops down, check, you have one wire which is on the left and the other wire which is on the right. So the message, same copy of that particular message will be duplicated. One will go in the left and other will go in the right. So I'm replicating the message. Whatever message you have sent, an envelope, which we have seen that envelope was sealed, along inside it was a content, and at the top it was having a stamps and the addresses. So in that case, the message was being duplicated. Exactly the same copy of the message will be prepared, and one will travel in the left, other will travel in the right. So in the left it goes, it will keep on traveling, assuming there are stations in this side also and there are stations in this side also. Now since in the diagram we can see only the stations towards the right of the screen, so I'll be discussing on the right. So when the message that is traveling from here to this point, it will come on this tab, it will be received on this tab. This tab is an entry to the station B, but then that message was intended for C. Still B has received it. So the moment B receives it, it says no, it is not for me. So it will drop the message. An unintended message has been received by the device, and since it is an unintended, no address is matching, no name is matching, it refuses to take. So it drops it. Now, once it comes over here, again, before sending it to B, it still replicates it, because here you can see there are two bifurcations. So before sending the packet to B, it keeps a copy over here which travels further, and one goes to B. So check, one copy was made over here, second copy was made over here. Now again it is traveling here. Again reaching at the tap has a already configured that moment it receives a packet, it has to create a copy of it. So again, it duplicates it. One will be given to C and one will be moving further. So when it reaches C, if it matches, it accepts it. If it doesn't matches the address, it drops the packet. So you can every time see tap creates a duplicate copy. So this is advantage as well as disadvantage. Sorry. Why disadvantage? Can anyone tell me why there will be a disadvantage tap creating a copy of your paper, of your letter, of your data? Is it an advantage or is it a disadvantage? If it is a disadvantage, I would like to know why. No, it does, Shashank, it doesn't stores. So there is no storage. It just creates the copy and it forwards it. Say, for example, you have your assignment to be submitted. So no extra copies are created. As many number of now, if there are two nodes, one is an input, other two are outputs. So I'll create only those many number of copies. If there will be three, I'll be creating three copies. So how many outgoing ports are there? Those many copies will be created. So can anyone tell me why this is a drawback? No one? Check when I'm creating a copy. In that case, what is happening? Am I not replicating in that particular point? If I know it is creating a copy, so my intruder has a chance to attack on my tap lines. The intruder has a chance on attacking your data. And what if the station B is not authenticated? Or what if station B is attacked by the intruder and when I send the copy, though it was not intended for station B, still it accepts it, it doesn't drops it. Can I trust that particular machine? So there are chance for leakage of my patients because it is not intended for the I don't know. Says that if it is not a machine itself is B it or it I'm not uh am I audible to rest of second? I'll just check it. Dedicated land. Okay, is it audible right now? Okay, fine. Ritik's screen was not visible because I haven't shared it. Now I have shared it. I hope now it is visible. So in that case, the tap lines was giving an issue to us. Even these tap lines are nothing but made of your metal. So when an electricity or when a current flows, now by default, if you remember the data that is going to flow from the wires, it is going to be a analog data. That is, current is going to flow. The data is going to flow in the form of signals, and those are your analog signals, nothing but you're made up of your current and amplifiers and your amplitudes. So in that case, when the wire gets when the wire transfers your data in the form of analog signals, and it is nothing but electricity. Metal is the bad conductor of electricity. So in that case, what happens is there is a deviation of the signal. The moment the data, the current flows in this direction, when the packet was there, my direction of the flow of the packet was my direction of the flow of the packet was in this direction. So at that time, what happens, as soon as the current strikes over here, there is a deviation of small loss of signal. So small amount of signal gets weakened. The strength of the analog signal will get weakened. Now this you may not understand a bit over here. Just for your understanding, I'm giving you an example. I hope everyone remembers this is how your analog signals looks like. So in that case, the amplitude gets weakened. Now this was your original signal, and assuming the after striking the signal gets weakened. So this is how your signals will get transferred. So in that case, what happens, the amplitude, the signals capacity, so the traveling gets reduced. You're going to get the same information, but then that information will not be that strength, with a heavy strength. So then this is another drawback of the tap. Now in this case, if a station gets broken, so only that station gets affected, and it is easier to track. So advantages, whichever station is out of the network, it gets easier to track, and there is a less installation as compared to your star and mesh. So if a new device also comes into the picture, it is acceptable, and it has a less information, less installation required. But there is one more drawback is, what if instead of the drop lines, if my backbone line, that is the line between station A and B, gets broken. So in that case, if A wants to send it to C or C wants to communicate it to A, they cannot do that because my main line itself is broken. So the whole network gets affected, or only that particular other part of the network gets affected, not completely. So if that is the case, even there is a disadvantage with the mesh and star. Bus is clear with the advantages and disadvantages. So then moving ahead with the ring, in this case, As the name says, it is a ring, it is a cyclic s- graph. So same things applies over here. Again, you have a backbone, you can see it is same as your bus. The thick line is using the communication for the bus. So assuming A wants to send the information to E, so A and E wants to communicate. Now check what will happen. A is going to send the message, it is going to being a tap over here. Now, the same as your repeaters are nothing but your taps. So repeater is going to repeat the signal in this direction. One copy will be sent in this direction. The other copy will be sent in this direction. So the same copy of the packet is reaching E from left, from one side and from the others. That means E is going to receive the two copies of the same message. Do you get this? E is going to receive the multiple copies of the same message. So in that case, assuming your this side reaches first, and this is having a delay of another 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, this is coming. So first copy has been already reached to E. After 5 minutes, it is receiving the same copy, but then still it has to read it, because E doesn't know until unless you do not open it, you don't know whether the same content or same data is there. So E might think a new updated data has been sent. So you're receiving the two copies, and which one to keep and which one to delete will be a problem. So even many times it happens that if I have posted something on the group and there are two copies, which one to refer? So I have to delete one, the sender. If the sender just sends the copy and moves ahead, what if the sender goes ahead or sender station is out of network? So in that case, E don't know what to do. So at that time, E has to decide at the receiver's end what E wants. Does he wants to keep the new packet or he wants to delete the older packet? By default, the latest packet, the new packets are being kept and the older packets are being replaced or they have been discarded. Rest, the same applies for your installation. Again, you have a thick band, and if that particular goes, it is gone. And assuming now you can see, this is your station A, this is your station B, and I'm assuming this is station D. I have a station C, but then that is not visible. That is purposefully made over here. It is not a mistake in this particular example. C label is there, but then station is not there. Now, if assuming C wants to send, oh, sorry, say any other station wants to send the data to C. So C is receiver. Say assuming, we'll assume that G wants to send it to C. In that case, G has prepared the packet and the packet is circulating. Again, the packet's copies will be made. One will be sent in this direction, other will be sent in this direction. Now check, C intended drop lines doesn't exist. If it goes to this, it says I'm not the intended user. 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 So in that case, none of the devices, none of the stations are ready to accept the packets. In that case, this packet will keep on moving in the circular fashion and it will be keeping on circulating in a cyclic manner. This is what you call it as your indefinite loops. You have studied in your graph theories. So in that case, when the indefinite loops comes, this is the problem. When the intended C station was there, so G has sent the data to C. Immediately before receiving the data, C has left the network. So in that case, the packet of C keeps on revolving in the ring until and unless the administrator of the ring manually discards it or the time to keep alive that packet terminates. So in that case, we have a wastage, and every time the link will be busy also. There will be a traffic on the link because the packet is revolving. You get this? There was some question from somebody, Shashank. Ma'am, why C? C was the question mark. Do you get that C? Why it is C right now? Okay. So this is how your ring topology works. There is a token system with your ring. Now, what that token system is there, even ring is also called as token rings. Now, in this case, the start of sending of the packet, how it happens. There is a token ring which revolves continuously throughout a ring. It goes to each and every station A, B, C, at regular intervals of time, just to ask them, do you have any data or message to be sent to anyone? If yes, then they'll get an issue of that token, and then they'll be asked to prepare their data, and after that stipulated time, the token will come and take away the data. Now this situation you might have seen, or this kind of example you might have experienced in your banking system, in your banks. When you have a long queues, they give you a tokens. So when your turn comes, at that time your token will be called, and you will be allowed to execute your information whichever you want to, or you want to inquiry or some whatever you had came for that purpose over there. So then that same token system is applicable in your ring topology. So tokens are being created and they are being circulated, and that token goes to each and every station to ask whether do you want to send the data or not. If yes, they'll accept the token, they'll get a number, and after that duration of time they'll be asked to give the data, and then the data will be circulated in the whole system. So this was your ring topology. Apart from this, you even have your another two topologies, that is tree and hybrid. Tree is nothing but similar to your star topology, and here is an one of your example of your hybrid topology. Check, this is a hybrid topology in the form of a tree structure. Now can anyone guess and tell me which topologies are used in this hybrid? Which all topologies are used in this? Is it star, is it mesh, is it bus, or is it ring? Which combinations are used? I want all, whichever are being used over here. I have received three answers. What about others? Check, you have a hub. So it is definitely a star. You have a baseline and every station is giving. So you have three buses. So there are four topologies used, three buses and one star. So star and bus topologies are used. So this is how you have to identify. Check, is it not a tree where hub is the root and these are your stations? Are your leaf nodes, leaf node A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I? So this is one of your tree structure. Not all, but then one of your tree structure. So this is how you're going to get the information. Check, this is the same thing which has been actually used in your labs. You have one row, second row, and third row, and the center that I was talking on that day, below above the pillar there was a box, and that was nothing but storing your switches and routers, which is called as hub. So in that case, this hybrid topology is actually implemented physically in your labs. Though you have your few of your machines even in these places, still it is a bus itself, the thick line and with your thin lines. So this is one kind of hybrid. There could be any multiple hybrids with any different combinations. More than two also could be possibly used. Here we complete your topologies. If you have any queries regarding any of your topologies, you can post it right away. Let me make an announcement. Your attendance is taken for this lecture, so do not worry about your attendance. For my sessions, you should not worry about your attendance. I have taken it as per my convenience. So there won't be an official announcement of your attendance to be punched in. If there are no queries, we'll move ahead. Okay. Then we are moving ahead to your different types of network categories. Now, in the network categories, you have different ways of connections. If you're speaking of today, in the current world situation, there are only two main primary categories of your network categories, that is LAN and WAN, local area network and wide area network. But then apart from this, there is one more which is called as metropolitan area network, which is MAN. It automatically gets formed when we are connecting using your basic nodes of LAN and WAN. Apart from these three, there are many PAN, BAN, HAN, and keeps on going based on your networking system where you're installing it. We are not going to go ahead with the details of this. We are going to only focus on your primary one. So basically, we are going to see what is LAN and how MAN and WAN is connected. Based on this, we have more functionalities and more categories of your networks which exist in your current day situation, especially when your IoT comes into the picture. So because of those increasing fields of your latest communications, we have different types of categories of networks. These size, always remember the category whichever we will be discussing will be determined by its size. So network categories are defined by its size. LAN is a huge, you can say a bigger ball in which you have smaller balls into it. So if I have a network which is installed in a college, so then that becomes a college network, though it is a part of LAN. So we are having a bigger circle within which we have smaller circles which contributes to LAN. So I'm not talking about the inner circles, I'll be talking about the whole outer structure, that is LAN. So the network size is determined by the how much area it is going to fall, the geographical area. I don't seems doesn't seems that your next teacher has arrived. Kirti ma'am, are you there? Okay, I'll continue until unless your next teacher arrives. Students, I have winded up with my lecture because if I'll start with LAN, I have to stop in halfway, so I would not prefer to start. And Kirti ma'am will join within 2-3 minutes.
Hello.
XP process. XP process. I think last time I explained you about XP process. Yes, student. Can you able to hear me? Yes. Okay. So now, good morning. Good morning, students. XP. This is explained to you last time. XP. Yes, this is explained to you. Now next one, I will explain. That is industrial XP. Industrial XP. Um, Joshua describe industrial XP programming. It is a see all are using it is a agile development technique. Hmm. So here we will see here it is for industry. One thing is it is for industry. Hmm. And they they the business assessment. Basically, here should user is a part of your team. If you remember last time also I explained user is part of your team, and it uses instrumental uh, approach. Then you will develop first what do you say? You will create first in software, or you will think about the important feature and using that important feature, you will develop the software, and that you do design team. They will check whether it is according to their requirement. Yes, if requirement, then they will. Uh, say that yes we can accept otherwise no then we will if user say yes it is correct then we will think about the next feature that is user will say first feature is okay then specify the second feature because already user specified number of feature at the beginning. So it is a process that is an agile development model. It is like this one model or you can say one increment or one release is completed, then we will think about second, third, and so on. And if you user one in between some changes, you can user can specify. Yes, we are still doing the process, so you can specify the changes. We will do that changes easily. So whatever changes user will specify in iteration shape code, user will modify that, and your process will continue. All features are specified, and all features are user see whether correct. Yes, then user will accept it. Okay, that is a method of agile development model and modified also. I explain you here. Modified development model. You can use pair programming. That is also explained to you. Now next one is uh, industrial extreme. That is you will specify in the method will be same, but it is for industry. That is a number of persons will be more, and still we have to develop the product. You are thinking this criteria only. So I will specify what happened in that because number of persons are many. You can take it is a railway reservation system. It is for complete India, correct? So you have to develop software for them. So you have to think many things here, correct? Developing a software uh, for railway is not so easy, correct? You have to see many things, many things are there, and so on. So here it is about industry readiness uh, assessment prior to initiate prior to initiation of IHP. IHP means industrial experience project. Uh, the organization should contact readiness assessment. Uh, that is the person who are ready or the team. You will contact the team and they will think the requirement, the assessment uh, checker, assessment check assessment. That is a thing you know already. It is a agile development. So user will be there and a programmer all team programming analyst uh, and testing team will be there and user will be there. So everything this team will work for your system. So assessment, uh, assessment, and check whether an appropriate development environment exists in support ISP. That is, environment is correct or no. Uh, just see, there are number of persons because industrial number of person will be there. So you have to think whether persons, that is the stakeholders and the development team. They are better working properly or no. Environment is correct or no. Working environment is correct or no. A team will populate state by proper set of stakeholders. You have to think the proper stakeholder. That is the person who will use your the person who have knowledge about your system and a newcomer who will use your system is not correct person because that person knows many things. That person doesn't know many information. He cannot specify many things to you. Previously, what am I, if any problem in occur, what to do. That all things that person doesn't know. So a newly joined person in stakeholder is not appropriate. Okay, so we have you should on a team should think who will be there in your team. Uh, Organization has the distinct uh, ability, program, and support continuous involvement. Organization have to think requirement and they have to modify the requirements. Organization have to check whether it is according to requirement. The organization culture will support the new value of agile team. If any you think that should be incorporated, your agile team will access it and they can agile team will develop it. A broad project community will be populated appropriate appropriated. Uh, so we have to think about this. Then next one in the project industrial experience for project community. Your classic IP, XP suggests that right people may be used to populate agile team to ensure the success. Already said, if people are um, well skilled person, they know technology, they know your existing system. They can specify many uh, things to you. They can help you in designing the team. So classic XP suggests that right people should be there in your design team. Implementation is that people on team must be well trained, skilled, and have proper term, 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 temperament to contribute to self-organizing team. Here you have your system analyst and the person from industry will be there. So system analyst will see If one person is there, then the person and one person from industry, they always argue with each other. They never accept others' idea. So it will make create a problem. Again, so you had to think about that. You had to design and think accordingly. You can sometimes it happens that ideas are different, but your they think about your organization properly. So in that case, you have to think properly. Who have to wear in the thing. Uh, when XP is to be applied for significant project in a large organization, concept of the team should more into that of community. The community may have technologists, customers who are central to the success of the project as well as other stakeholders. Already I said uh, technologists, stakeholders will be there. Uh, your main aim in your project should be successful. Industrial XP continuation project chattering. First one is one second. I will take water. Project chattering. I expecting assesses the project it- itself to determine whether appropriate business justification for the project exists and whether the project will further the overall goal of the objective. Our aim is um, the persons from an industry will check whether it is the system is developed according to organization goal. Chattering also determine the content of the project to determine how it implements extend or replace existing system on process. This thing will check whether the requirement are met or no. Require existing system. You have to replace existing system. So requirement are according to user knowledge or no. So this person chattering should check this. Now next one is take test zone management. Your project should be tested and I expect project require measurable criteria for assessing the state of the project and process that has been made to date. Your project should be according to requirement. It should be according to a schedule. You are specifying the schedule. So it is according to your schedule or no. You have to check it. Test one management uh, establishes the series of measurable destination and then define mechanism for determining whether or not a destination has been reached. That is, requirements are according to specification. Is there or no? Uh, uh, the prospective and IXP conduct specialized technical review. They will check whether the to technical review they will conduct and check whether it is according to their requirements because already you are specified in previously what happened, what was the problem previously and how to solve that problem. That everything you are specified and using that law, uh, they will inspect your system. If it is according to their requirement, they will access, accept, accept it. Continuous learning. Uh, your you are doing a project. You are continuously changes we have to do because it is a agile development. Usable specimen, you have to apply it. You have to develop it. So every time user will get idea, programmer will on team also get some knowledge. You can say. So it is a process of learning the vital part continuously. So because learning is a vital part of continuous process improvement. Improvement. The member of the team team encourages to learn new methods and techniques that can lead to higher quality product. Your team members are available. So they will think what programmer is doing or what output we are getting. So user or a team will continuously learn something from user. Okay. So user will provide some techniques or specify many ways of using your system in better way. When you are giving training or just see in this case, training is not required. Why? Because your user is a part of your team. Correct? User is part of the team itself. So every time you are talking with each other, specifying requirement, accordingly, programmer will do coding. User will say, or stakeholder will say whether it is according to requirement or no. So there is still a user get idea how to use it. So no need of providing any training actual. So you can say that users are getting knowledge about your system. They can understand the system in better way. I'm saying many things. You are understanding. Students, you are understanding. Okay, good. Good. Because how to develop is clear. You can develop your project next year easily. Okay. Okay, thank you. for giving response. Otherwise, I think I'm saying so many things. You are understanding or no? Okay. Uh, now, so this much part interested. Extreme part is over. Anyone have doubt in that? Continue. I think I'm going fast. Any doubt anyone have? Okay. I'm going fast. Okay. So I continue. Okay. Because syllabus is quite vast. Still, half is not over. I think it is the 13th lecture, 1 3, and half portion of unit 1 is not over yet. Another agile process model. There are many are there. So it is an agile model only, but changes will be there. Here, other agile process model have been proposed and are in use across the industry. Okay. Many are just the all I have to specify on. Adapt, adaptive software development. No, dynamic software development method. Crystal feature driven development. Learn software development. Agile modeling and agile modified process. These I have to specify. Just see whether I can complete all. Now next one is adaptive development model. Some changes are there. Finally, it is agile model. You can doing same thing. Uh, you will prepare a increment and every time you will get new versions of the software because user will say requirement and you are doing according to user requirement. Correct. Our aim is to satisfy the customer, uh, to user or stakeholder. Our aim is to satisfy stakeholder so that they can use your system. If it is not according to their requirement, they will not use your system. Okay. Or they may specify changes every day and developing becomes difficult. And if it is every time specifying requirement, schedule will crash. Okay. So you have to specify the requirements at the beginning properly also. Okay. Requirements. Now, and next one is adaptive development model. Some little bit changes are there in each. So we will see that adaptive development model. What is there? In speculation, collaboration, learning. These things will be there in that. Okay. Now, adaptive cycle. It is a cycle, one by one. So it is a model. Adaptive cycle planning, mission, statement, project constraint, basic requirement, time, time, box, release plan. So this everything will be there in first. Okay. And then one is requirement gathering. Everywhere gathering will be there. That is the requirement gathering and requirement analysis or feasibility study. You can call it same thing by different names. And then component implementation. Finally, we are using object-oriented approach. So now new approaches are also available. You can do that also. Main approach is object-oriented approach. And the adaptive software development has been proposed by Gene, Gene, Gene Highsmith as a technique for building the complex software. It is used for complex software and system. The physiological understanding, understanding of this ASD focus on human collaboration. Yes, human is there. Human collaboration and team self organization. Team self organization. Marksman argued um, that agile adaptive development approach based on collaboration. In design uh, stages, there are three stages you can see here. Spe- speculation, speculation, then collaboration and learning. Last one is learning. During speculation, the project is initiated and adaptive cycle planning is conducted. That is first one. Here, you can do planning. Okay. Adaptive cycle planning uses project initiation information. You have to think about the project initiation. When you are in, when you reach to third year, first time madam will say you have to do project. That is initiation. Madam will specify that you have to do project. Then that is initiation. Then which project? Yeah. You are not industry person. You are student. But still you have to think from user point of view. Requirement. What is the requirement user want? Why they want this system to be built? Okay. So here, adaptive cycle planning uses project initiation information. First, madam will say we have to do project. Okay. Where whichever software, hardware, or knowledges you have, you can apply that. Again, that is initiation. Then you will think about your project. Yes, I want to do this project. Then you will start doing finding the requirement. Correct. This way your project will proceed. Okay. Adaptive cycle planning uses first one is initiation. And just take any building. If a builder want to develop, what they will do? First, they will think about the initiation, initialization. That is, whether it is possible. Yes. First thing is where the product, where the plan, where you want to develop. Okay. Near to railway station, near area. If any right now, if area is less, then you cannot build. Or if there is no space, uh, proper space, you cannot build the system that is seven uh, storage building because limitations are there. Again, if anything goes wrong, fire, something happens, then there should be way to come out immediately. I think many things are there. Correct. Just builder will not think that thing that I want to develop a building. Okay. So first thing is where it is, area, whether it is possible to do it. Now just think physical, feasible. Feasible means I think I said technically feasible, economically feasible. Uh, uh, from user point of view, feasible. Then politically feasible. Again, many things you have to think. Again, uh, just take a. No, I should not go in detail of that. Anyway, you can understand this what I want to say. Um, Politically, it is feasible or no? Road is very small. Okay, I want to make the road broad, but some problem comes. Political pressure comes. Okay, we cannot able to do it. Correct? What I want to say is this. No, now I think you understood this concept. So, your user have to think from this angle, uh, or programmer or a system analyst should think from that angle. Project initiation is possible. Yes, possible. Possible in what sense? It is possible, technically feasible, possible, yes, technically feasible, possible. Uh, your company is ready to invest so much amount, yes, that is economically, technically, financially, politically, all things you have to think. Now, next one. Uh, for the initiation information, the customer mission statement, project constraints. Okay, constraint maybe many space is not there. You cannot make build on seventh floor building. Just now I said it is near to the railway station. Some problem is there. Okay. No, you cannot build. Okay. Other thing, your space in your land is not proper. You cannot build seven floor building. Okay. So constraint, your system analyst have to think about the constraint or customer have to specify the constraint. What constraint the management may have some constraints. We want to develop the system thinking right now in just our college, 10,000 students are there. Okay, we know that building is small, correct? So some problems are there. These constraints are there. Management no constraints are there. So thinking that the system, your system analyst will think, okay, uh, the system analyst will think about the constraint. But still, requirement is there. We have to satisfy that. So our team will think about customer mini, mi- mission, mission statement, project extent, delivery date, or user description. Suppose you want that project should be developed hardly in 15 days. There is a constraint, correct? So what system analyst can do? Can increase number of programmer, correct? That is possible. Anyway, um, and basic requirement to define the set of release uh, release cycle that will be required for the project. Software increment. Our project is agile, so it will be increments. Number increment will be there. Okay. So first one is your project initiation. So in there, uh, and adapt to cycle planning, usage, project initiation information, the customer mission statement, project constraint, and uh, and basic requirement to define a set of release cycle that will be required for the project. This everything you should know in your design team should think. Then next one is collaboration. Collaboration motivated people. You motivated people use collaboration in a way that multiple multiply their talent and create output beyond their absolute numbers. When even person that the persons are motivated, then their idea may be multiple, double. Okay, your talented people are there in your team, stakeholder or design, both. Uh, People are there, then you can get more and more idea and you can develop a thing properly. Sometimes it happens that X person comes, their ideas are very important. Their thinking is very important and we are impressed with them and then we will try to develop we will try to think in that way also. It happens many times. You become so influenced by that person. It happens this many times. Correct? If this is the case, then your project will be developed in proper way. Your idea will be multiplied. Well, okay. This approach is recurring theme in agile method. The uh, co- collaboration is not easy. Just now I said. If your ideas are very good, a team members idea is very good. You can accept it easily, but it may happen that people may cross every time. If it is like this, then developing a system become not easy. So, but collaboration is not so very easy. Collaborating people is not easy. In some project, communication and teamwork, but it also emphasizes individualism because individual uh, create, create, creativity plays an important role in collaboration thinking. It is above all matter of fact. Yes. Um, I'm saying that if a user is there in a team, there should be trust. Correct? If you have trust, then only you can specify the information properly. You can specify requirements properly. Okay. People working together must trust one other. Two, why it is so? Uh, criticize without and monkey and ma- so you have to think about monkey. Forget about your crawler. Crawler. 1 second. Uh, if you are not um, compatible with that person, every time it will be crawler. 1 second, it is a word is coming. Um, caller. Anyway, uh, crawler. Crow. Uh, create a site without and munching. Uh, access without resentment. Work as hard, harder than they do. We people working together, they will work with each other. They will specify many things. They will work hard. Uh, have the skill get to contribute to work and communicate problems for or concern in a way that leads to effective action. So if people are working together, many things you can get already specified meaning. Then next one, learning. Uh, first one, second one is over, third one is learning. Hmm. Learning. Components implemented. Test, focus, group for me. Test to focus group for feedback and formal technical review for postmortem. Next one is learning. and members of ASD team begin to develop component that are part of part of adaptive cycle that emphasis is on learning as much as it is on progress towards a complete cycle. Learning already specified in ASD team learn in three ways. First one is focus group technical review and for the postmortem. So uh, focus for group team is there. So you have to think about the requirements. Uh, now you are getting a software and releases, so you will think it is, your focus is according to requirement or no. Group focus. Then a technical review. You will do each in each release. You will see whether it is technically correct or no. Then next one is project post mortem. Okay. Uh, ASD overall emphasis on the dynamic of self-organizing team. Self-organizing team dynamic interpersonal collaboration and individual and team member. It depends on all these things. Yeah. Uh, it software project team that have a higher likelihood of success. If your team is good, members are good, they will specify the thing properly, you are getting output properly, so you are specifying everything properly. There is no problem in them, so you are getting output easily. Dynamic self organization is there. You are specifying. Uh, you can say I'm doing this. Yes, it is according to requirement. Yes, go ahead, continue, modify, and so on. So you can specify it easily. uh, your time will be less because user is available with you whenever want, can help you or available with you, so you'll get output easily. Interpersonal collaboration, yes, people are available with you. Individual team learning, you are providing them learning also in between. So you are specifying how see in this program is there. If you use this input, then you'll get output like this. So uh, programmer will specify the output. Then you will specify a team. You will specify you have to provide input like this. Just see what form is available with you. Correct. If training is not given, giving understanding that form becomes difficult. But if anyone say ये form में ये बनना है ऐसा ऐसा बनना है, it becomes easy. Correct. You can accept it easily. Correct. So what I am saying is this: your programmer will specify to design team. Sorry, to uh, user. Yeah, give this input, you will get this output. Yes, ये आपके requirement के हिसाब से get banking system. It is a banking system. User will say, we want this output. Pass. हम्म, passbook update. It should be updated. Um, ये हुआ तो ऐसा होना चाहिए वैसा होना चाहिए and so on. Accordingly, you will specify. Correct. Program will give you program or output. Then you will user will see the output. It is according to requirement. Yes. Then user can accept that easily and they may say yes it is correct or you can they can specify मैडम ये भी होना चाहिए या सर ये भी होना चाहिए चलेगा ये अच्छा होगा ये रखा तो फिर ठीक है accordingly they will give you suggestion correct and so on so individual and team learning user will specify uh, programming is done accordingly, user will get training also. Do it is better. Your project will success. Your project will succeed. Anyone hand out up till now in this adapt to software development. Any doubts? Okay, I will continue. Next one is Scrum. Uh, Scrum is an ideal in agile software development method. It is again next method developed by Jeff in 1990. 1990. Yes. Uh, the activities will be requirement analysis, design, uh, evaluation, and delivery. Within each framework activity, work tasks occur within the process pattern called sprint. Okay. Sprint. Sprint. The process conduct within a sprint is adapted to the problem at higher height and even sorry um, problem at hand and is defined and often modified in real time by the snowing. The overall the overall flow of the stream process is illustrated in the figure. Just click this below backlog thing. Here, tasks are there. One, two, three, four. Four tasks are there. Here. Now, they will do the work. So, framework activities are specified here. Yeah. Once backlog, explain backlog features assigned to explain. You are providing one works. One works you are providing. Now, backlog item expended by the team. It is for 1 month. Backlog is there, they will continue their work. Then next, every 20 months will do work. Now later on, the team will there, they will work together, specifying many things. And new functionality is demonstrated At the end of the seminar, we'll get a final product. Now I will specify here Agile Development Model. Explain emphasizes emphasize the use of set of software process patterns that are bound that have been effective for the project with the tight timeline, changing requirements, and business criteria. Criteria. Each of these process patterns define a set of development action. We are specifying the development action. First one is backlog. The priority-wise list of the project requirement or feature that are provide the business value for the customer, which is important that you will specify first. Or feature you will specify first. Uh, the customer will specify the feature first. Item can be added to the backlog at any time. And food are there, fifth one, sixth one, you can add. But important is that first, the product manager uh, assesses backlog and update priority by priorities as required. If manager want to change the priority, you can change or manager want to change the proper priorities, you can change the priorities. If they think that last one is better and it should be performed first, so it becomes first thing and so on. Sprint, sprint consists of work unit that are required to achieve the requirement defined in a backlog that must fit to predefined box, time box. Hmm. Typically 30 days. Changes are not introduced during a sprint. Once the sprint allow, allows team member to work in a team in a short team but stable environment. It will be short but stable. Then next one is yeah, Scrum meeting. Are short meeting, a short meeting held daily by the Scrum team. They will provide a meeting every day. Hmm. Uh, the key questions are asked and answered by all team members. Question is asked and answer is given. What does you do since last team meeting? What you did previously? What means previous meeting? What obstacle are you encounter? Any problem encountered? Then what do you plan to accomplish by next team meeting? What do you plan for, sorry, to establish by next team meeting? So the three questions are asked and accordingly they will think about how to proceed. The team leader called Steve Master means the master leads the meeting and assesses the response from each person. The Scrum meeting helps the team to uncover potential problems as they are possible. If any problem comes possible to overcome, we can overcome it. Also, this idea, this daily meeting leads to knowledge space sourcing, knowledge socialization, socialization. Because every time, every day you are meeting, so any problem is there, you can solve it easily. Demo. During delivery the software implement to the customer soon so that functionality that admin implemented can be demonstrated and evaluated by the customer. It is important to note that demo may not contain all planned functionality, but rather than a function that can be delivered within the time box that can be that has centered. This is the one about Scrum meeting. Next one is dynamic system development model. Dynamic system development model is an agile development approach that provides framework for building and maintaining a system which might take time constraint to use of the incremental prototyping in controlled project environment. Uh, DSM uh, Dynamic System Development Model is psychology. One second. Physio, physio, is borrowed from modified version of uh, person uh, per two. 80% of an application can be delivered to 20% of time. So finally, it will in 100% word. This dynamic system development model is an uh, iterative process model. What we are seeing iterative, which in which each iteration follow 80% rule. That is, only the work is required for each increment to facilitate a movement to next at increment. The remaining detail can be completed later when more business requirement are known or changes have to be required and accommodated. Here, dynamic system development model life cycle that define three di- different iterative cycles followed by two additional life cycle activities. Feasibility study, business study, functional model record, activation, design, and build iteration and implementation. So first one, feasibility study. Establish many things are already explained. So I will just go to that. Establish a basic requirement, uh, establish a basic business requirement and constraints associated with application to be built and then assess when whether application is viable candidate for the process. Correct. Constraint using requirement specified and according to that feasibility is conducted. Business study establishes the functional and information requirement that will allow the applications to provide business study. Uh, Also define basic basic analysis, basic application architecture and specified maintainability requirement for the application. Functional model and free observation produce a state of implement that demonstrate functionality for the customer. Only child it is provide implemented model design and build iteration, revisit prototype, build during functional model iteration to ensure that each has been engineered in manner that will enable to provide operational feasibility value for each user. Design and build iteration. You have to design the system, do the analysis, build the iteration, specify the functional model. That is which function you will do, what output you want, and so on. That thing. In uh, some cases, model, functional model iteration and design and build iteration offer concurrently. What it is in some cases, functional model iteration. Functional. You are specifying more functions. Which function you are doing. You will design and build iteration occur concurrently. Implementation. Pla- Places latest software implement into operational environment. It should be noted that implement may not be 100% complete. Yes, you are developing a system. Every time it will not be 100%. Changes may be requested as per requirement. So changes can be requested as per increments input into place. In either case, then dynamic system development model develop work continuously by returning the functional model iteration activity. So implementation, you are doing implementation every time you will get one iteration, one software you can see. Post iteration changes second and so on. You will get an incremental model. The next one is your crystal model. Here you will create a family. Crystal family is actual a set of example agile process that has been proven efficient for different type of project. Tenant is to allow agile team to select member of the digital family that is more appropriate for their project and environment. I think this is already explained to you. Correct. You have to select the person we have no knowledge and so on. Correct. That is explained to you. Next one is agile development. Agile development. Feature driven management. Feature driven management. That is, you have to think about the feature, and according to that feature, you will develop your system. Feature driven development. Feature driven development was originally conceived by Peter Ford and his colleague, his colleague as a practical process model for object-oriented software engineering. Hmm. Like other agile processes or approaches, FDD adopt the uh, philosophical that means that is emphasis collaboration among people on an FDT thing. Everywhere collaboration is there, emphasis is on collaboration. That is, your focus is on team, people, manage, manages problem and project complexity using feature. That is, you have to think about the feature and according to that, plan the project with decomposition followed by the iteration of the software implement and communication of the technical detail. Communication of technical detail using verbal, graphical, text based means you have to do communication, oral communication, verbal, graphical, text based, and so on. everything you already know, already explained this. Okay. Now, what it contains? Uh, develop on overall model, more shape, shape than content. Build a visible list. That is a list of feature- features group into set and subject area. You have to think about your features. Yeah. Then plan by feature. The development plan class or owner feature set owner owners. Then by design by feature assign or design a package that is in sequences. Then complete plan value function. So go on doing this design by feature design build by feature design design build design build. Okay. Because user will specify the requirement, we can modify it, build a system, and so on. Sequences will be there. Then next one is agile development. I'm seeing FDT emphasis in software quality assurance activity by in, encouraging an incremental development strategy uh, activities which activities will be the encourage incremental development strategy, use of design and co-inspections, application of software quality assurance audit, collection of metrics, use of pattern, that is analysis, design and construction in content of updating a feature in client-based function that can be